We got Amanda McKinney on the phone with us this morning, Dave. Yakima County Commissioner Amanda McKinney. Concerns about vaccines. Good morning, Amanda.
Well, good morning, gentlemen. How are you today?
Very well.
Very well, Amanda. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, well, I wish it was under different circumstances, I'll tell you.
What's up? What's your concern? What's going on?
You know, I throughout this entire pandemic, I have not been more shocked than I was yesterday. And I wanted to convey a message, which is that our Department of Health, and with the support obviously of the governor and our local health district, is targeting children with videos encouraging them at 12 through 16 years old to go and get a vaccine. And they've created a competition between the schools. And I have said many times that I fought really hard to get the vaccine into our community. I am wholly supportive of everyone who wants to get it, who is an adult, who makes that decision. But we don't market cigarettes and we don't market alcohol to our children because it is an adult decision, and they are circumventing the parental relationship, and they're inserting themselves and using, I don't know about you, but I can't think of a greater place on the planet with a higher level of peer pressure than a middle school or high school campus. And now you are telling these children through videos that they need to get a vaccine to save their friends, save their grandparents.
Yeah.
I mean, we can't be sending this message. That is a personal conversation between a parent and a child and their physician. And what I'm truly just, quite frankly, irate about is that if you watched our last health board meeting, the media director insinuated that they were working on something, and I brought it up and said, wait a second, explain this. What are you talking about? And she indicated that they were working on targeting these minors. And I said, absolutely not. We aren't going to do that. As a health board, we need to be involved in those decisions. We set the policies for the health district to administer. I said we need to see that material. And I believe there was very good consensus among the health board, and I felt the staff communicated that they understood that this was something we needed to hold off on. But you know what? I received the information yesterday, and they started the campaign.
Yeah.
Yesterday,
yeah, they did. We've got Davis, Eisenhower, Yakima Online, LaSalle High School, Toppenish High School involved as part of this challenge.
Middle schools, and we have middle schools. To me, I can't think of a more, if you're really wanting to, it goes down to what I told Governor Inslee when he was here. If you're wanting to try to remove the stigma and allow people to make a discerned decision, educated, take their time, not feel like they're forced into something, this is the exact opposite of that idea. Now you're going after underage children. And again, if there are parents who want to get their child a vaccine, I wholly support them, but that's their decision. And now what we're going to have is a child who's 12 years old is going to go to their parent and say, I need to get the vaccine because everyone's asking me at school about it, and I'm being told at school that I don't care about my grandma if I don't get the vaccine, and I could kill people. And then what position does that put a parent in? If that parent decision is, we're not really ready in this household to do that, we want to have it studied more. So now you've put conflict between a parent and a child. Why? Why did you insert yourself in that relationship? That isn't your place. So, I've already let the health district know that as a health board member, I'm saying cease and desist immediately, and we need to discuss this at our next meeting. Obviously, there's 6 other health board members out there. But more importantly, they need to hear from the community, the superintendents, the principals. They need to hear from the community that this is something that if you're not supportive of this and you want to make sure that the vaccine is a discussion that happens in the household and not in the classroom, then that needs to be said. And the health district needs to hear from folks. Our health officer needs to hear from folks because I'm advocating, all right, but, this is just, to me, absolutely mind-boggling right now.
A couple of questions. First of all, does the health board operate under the same sort of requirements, Open Meeting Act, that sort of thing, or can you take the temperature of your fellow board members?
No, it is the same Open Meetings Act, of course, a quorum. And because obviously with commissioners, we sit on the board. So no, I do not have conversations. And so this is another reason why there's goodness in that, right? Because at least if there is community participation in the conversation, it's organic, rather than, the board. But that's why it's important for people to reach out to, members individually. It's important to reach out to our health officer, who, by the way, is an interim health officer at the moment. It's important to let the director and our COO of the health officer hear about this. Let them know that this, if you are not supportive of this, and by the way, it's not that you're necessarily not supportive of the vaccine. That's not the point. The point is we can be very supportive of people having the right to choose, and I've advocated for that, and I will always advocate for people's right to choose. But a child cannot be put in this peer pressure situation at a school, because what else can they infer if they listen to this message and they don't get the vaccine and their parent says not right now? What else can they infer other than, well, everyone else is telling me that means that I'm not of morally sound character. I don't care about my community.
Right,
I don't care about my friends. That's what they're telling them.
So
we can't put that pressure on a child.
I understand that. This is, I'm not looking to cause any trouble here. Was this, in your opinion, a defiance of the direction that the board made clear they wanted to go, or is this local authority answering to their own higher power at the state, or how does this happen? Do you think, given the fact that you guys?
Sure. Well, in light of the Department of Health direction, obviously Governor Inslee has made it very clear. He's on a push to get 70% vaccinated. We know what our numbers are, and if you watch the dashboards, our numbers in adults are not moving. They're very slowly ticking up compared to where they are. We're making minor gains daily because we've reached saturation to a point in the adult population from those people who were very eager to get it versus the folks who want to discern. It takes some more time. The only way to get there is how to do it. You go after the youth. And it is clear that this is something that they are absolutely targeting. And our health district in particular is taking this up as a charge to really try to advance, to try to get us to be the one county perhaps who has the highest saturation among 12 to 18-year-olds. That's not where we want to go. Again, in the email that they sent to me, when I asked for the information, they gave me a copy of the video that they're showing and the idea of this marketing and this contest. And then they said, and we are now exploring what a campaign would look like targeted towards guardians and parents. And my response was, that was the first and only step that should have been taken. The first and only step.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I hear that.
So,
I guess we're trying to be teacher's pet. We're trying to be Jay's pet project, the governor's example that he can point to shiningly and saying, look at Yakima. They got all these 13-year-olds pushing mom and dad to get them the shot. And how great is that?
Yeah. Well, and that's what they said, because they actually said, we are pushing. They used the word push. Dave, just like you said, we're pushing. We're pushing for kids to get vaccinated. We're pushing for parents to vaccinate their kids. The motive is right out in front of us. We don't have to dig deep. It's there. They are pushing this out there on these kids. And to answer your question directly about, is this the health district going rogue, I will say this. I felt during the conversation it was very clear that the consensus among the board. Now, did we vote? I asked if I needed to make a motion to cease and desist and do not do this marketing campaign until the health board had the materials to review and approve. And staff indicated we did not need a motion. No, we'll go ahead and send you the information. So I will say that I felt, I guess I'll have to go back and rewind, I felt there was consensus that this was something that they understood that the board wanted to review first, but they did it anyway. Now, whether or not that's going road, I think it was very clear that the board was saying, let's hold off on this. We need to see this and approve this. I think that message was loud and clear. Did we actually formally notify them through a motion of the board to say stop? No, we did not. That won't happen again. We'll not make that mistake again.
Did you have a sense that... I'm sorry, Amanda. I was just saying, did you have a sense that Dr. J felt that this was a good idea or not himself?
Oh, yes. Yeah. No, there is. It is very clear to me that this is 100% buy-in. Our health district staff and our health officer are 100 committed to this. It is obvious. It is something they're targeting. They're taking the mobile clinics and partnering with they were at middle school. They've been at middle school. And that was something that, again, I absolutely, if you want to make it easy for the parents who do want their children to get the vaccine, fantastic.
Wow.
Do not do it during school hours. Do not do it during school hours, because what about the child who's trying to walk away from that situation and knows that if they walk away, or if they're not the one going up to their parent and pull on the pant leg and said, I want this, and now you've created, again, conflict between a parent and a child.
Amanda, I just want to let you know the information that I received yesterday from the Yakima Health District said only those 16 and older will count as part of this challenge. So I'm not reporting that there's younger kids out there, but you're the county official, so you would know. But they're not including that information in the press release. That's all I want to make clear. So
Sure.
if they are targeting
the
earlier,
is high school.
Yeah.
The contest is high school. The mobile pop-up clinics, they are going to middle schools for the clinic.
Okay.
And so I would tell you, so obviously my next question is, well, what else are you disseminating to the middle school? Are you doing these same similar videos? Are you showing these videos? Is it during school time?
Yeah.
And I watch the videos, and it's like, again, they're posting it on social media, and you've got I commend these teenagers who are wanting to do the right thing. They're wanting to encourage their classmates to do something that they feel compelled to do. Wonderful. However, not appropriate for something like this when it is clearly something that there's a question mark on this for a great deal of the population.
Yeah.
This is something that we can all agree is still very new. And I am not an anti-vaxxer. Again, I support those people who want to take that step. For the vaccine right now, though, it is really fantastic. It's a miracle protector for people who are particularly vulnerable to COVID, the elderly and people with comorbidities.
Yep.
It's perfectly acceptable for people outside of that. Well, of course, anyone with those things perfectly able to say, well, I don't mind, or I already had COVID, or I'm not afraid of COVID. Fine, whatever, that's your choice. But these kids, it's just, adults can handle the peer pressure. Yep. Because they've got the parents and they've got their loved ones to be able to put their neck out and say, no, we're not going there. But this is something that is absolutely unacceptable, and it only drives the wedge further, because now we're having this discussion on radio, and we're having it on TV, and we're going to have it in the newspaper, and it's going to be parents who love their children and parents who don't. That's the label. We have to remove these labels and the stigma that comes along with creating so much divisiveness from something like this. It's personal.
It certainly should be. When is the next meeting? Can you guys expedite that, or does it take a meeting for, or does this announcement across all media platforms serve as a cease and desist order, or is it business as usual till you get 4 votes, or what's the next?
Well, so what I did yesterday, I emailed a cease and desist request as a health board member. I've reached out to, obviously, my attorney, Joe Brusick. I've reached out to the attorney for the health district to see, what the options are here. Calling a special meeting. We have a special meeting already, and those are special meetings simply because, the health district was only meeting once a month.
Right.
And when we had turnover on the board, the new member of 7 said, wait a second, we need to meet far more often, because if the point of the board is to set the policies, and this is significant time. We need to be meeting regularly to handle some of these things. Our next meeting is supposed to be next Wednesday morning. As far as I'm concerned, no, I'll push this today and continue to say, listen, I want you, and it depends on other health board members, and if we need to call another meeting, we're allowed to call special meetings as a board, as you know, all boards are. In this case, we have to have 24 advance notice to the public. So, we can't just say, okay, everybody, we want to huddle together at noon today over lunch. It's got to be something where we are able to have staff coordinate and make sure that everyone has received notice and given reasonable opportunity to attend if they're a member, and then make sure that it's announced to the public for their opportunity for at least 24 hours to know and prepare to be able to attend, in this case, virtually.
Gotcha.
So so to answer your question, if they don't cease and desist, then I'm going to be calling for a meeting sooner than even next Wednesday.
Okay.
All right. Well, keep in touch with us. Let us know the outcome of this, and we will certainly be following this as well.
And we got about 20 seconds. Your recommendation is for people who share your point of view and think that this is nothing to put on the kids should do what? Who should they reach out to?
I want you to email your superintendents, your school principals, and the health district. The COO is Ryan Ibach. You can go to the Yakima Health District website, as well as Dr. Yucca, and let them know. Let them know that this is something that you absolutely believe should be between parents and children, and marketing it and targeting your marketing, quote, education, to children is not okay. Not okay. Not in this case.